being gay is kind of something that just affects almost anything and everything that you do. The way you meet people, the way you react to people, the way you compose yourself in public. It's because you're always aware that someone who 1 minute is nice to you could just suddenly flip just the moment they are aware that, oh, this person might be gay. So it's being gay in Nigeria is just kind of like, it's this constant awareness of self, because you know that at any moment things could just go left.
There's always that fear. For example, I can't be openly affectionate to the people that I love, right? And because that's what's criminalized, right? The public display of affection, same-sex marriage. However, my just identifying as this person who likes women is not criminalized. And so we have that tiny thing. And I'm so quick to remind people that just me identifying as this is not a crime, right? However, many people don't know that. So homophobes jump on that. Oh, you're a lesbian, you're this, 14 years.
A lot of people tell me I'm in danger, like my subscribers, for example, my YouTube subscribers, they write me, they send me emails. I don't think any month will go by that I don't get a, oh, I'm worried about you, are you going to leave Nigeria message? I get that frequently.
If you were created this way, then why should you have a problem worshiping God and being the way He made you, I guess? And so I hear all the time, how can you be gay and worship a God that condemns you and all that? And I'm like, well, if we're going by that, then God condemns a lot of people.
To be lesbian, gay, queer, and many other identifiable terms to express sexuality other than to be heterosexual is considered a crime in several parts of Africa. Across the continent, there still remains debates and non-negotiable actions to decriminalize homosexuality. In an exclusive documentary by Nihu, we speak with proud and unafraid members of the LGBTQ community, shedding light on living their lives in Nigeria as gay and queer. This is Proud and Unafraid by Nihu Media.
Hi, my name is Vincent Desmond. I am an editor at the Cocoa Mag. I'm also a freelance journalist. My sexual orientation is gay and my pronouns are he, him.
My name is Uyaiedu. I'm a filmmaker. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm queer.
Hi, my name is Amara. Amara the lesbian, and I'm a videographer, blogger, photographer, queer woman living in Nigeria, living and existing in Nigeria.
Hi, I'm Walter Day. I'm an editor and a vlogger. I have a YouTube channel that I co-host with a friend where we talk about LGBT issues that affect the Nigerian queer community. And I am gay.
I like the word queerness, and it's because everyone who identifies as queer can create a meaning for themselves, what it means to be queer for themselves. I like it because it doesn't box you in. It recognizes that sexuality can change, or gender also can change, can be fluid, can be different things to different people. So I like the lack of restrictions that come with the word queer. I don't know that there was a moment for me, because I'd always been attracted to women. However, I didn't realize that it was a thing that a person could be, right? So I pretty much just lived my life as a heterosexual woman until many years later, or more recently, that I think a few years ago, I thought I had gone through different labels, I had thought I was bisexual, and then pansexual, and then... So now it's just queer. Many of my friends call me lesbian, which I don't mind at all. I sometimes identify myself as lesbian as well, but off the top of my head, I would just say queer, yeah.
I grew up with an abusive father, so that was pretty hard to maneuver growing up. So before I started putting out content out there and talking to the world about myself, I was talking to myself about myself. I was talking to my books, my journals about myself, but never really knowing what exactly I was or why I was different. I didn't even start dating or talking to girls until college. So I was pretty much straight appearing, dating boys, writing letters to boys, just getting my heart broken. I was really, honestly, a very quote unquote normal girl until college. And I think college gave me the calm, the quiet, the sanity to want to articulate everything I was feeling and share with the world. But before then, I was just feeling a lot of things. I was going through a lot of pain and confusion and just growing like everybody was. I was just really very normal. I thought I was.
I've been coming out to people for most of my life, even when I feel like I don't really need to. But I think the most important coming out experience I've ever had was coming out to my mom. It was an experience. But my mom and I are very close growing up. But when I came out, it kind of created this rift between us. There's this, my only son is gay, and it's all these expectations, all of these things that she had planned out in her head for me, and this realization that most of them won't come true. So I feel like she reacted violently because of all those expectations. It was horrible. I think at some point she kind of threatened to like call the police on me and everything. Yeah, but eventually I kind of moved out, and that independence kind of helped reset the relationship and helped because when you're defining your relationship when you're away and there's no power held over you, it kind of helps. So yeah, I think coming out to my mom was like the most important coming out experience for me. Every other person, at some point I kind of stopped coming out to people. Everyone knows me as a gay man, so that kind of like made coming out like pointless for me.
I was becoming increasingly more sure of myself. But then every time I went to church and came out, I felt really unclean. And I didn't like that. It wasn't anything they particularly said. It was just the whole atmosphere, I guess, and just the whole righteousness going on in church that made me, anytime I left church, I felt like I was doing something terrible. But then I would now spend the week reaffirming myself and letting myself know that, okay, but you're a good person, you're just gay, you didn't kill anyone, you just love someone, or you just want to be with people, you know. I would spend the week reaffirming myself and then go to church on Sunday, and then it's like, okay, so what is going on? Like at the point, I found myself trying to sort of rationalize, make the sense of uncleanness kind of on myself by saying, okay, maybe I'm bisexual, and so maybe I am attracted to women as well, so it will make it a little bit nicer if I go to church and I come. But it didn't help. Like, I don't know what it was. I guess it was psychological on some level, but and so I didn't like dealing with that. And then it came to a head when, after the anti-gay law was passed in 2014, and I went to church the Sunday after that happened, and it's insane. They were rejoicing. It was a sermon they were giving as to what's the good thing that Jonathan had done for Nigeria. And I remember feeling so mad, because I think that law was passed on a Tuesday, or it was within the week though. And between then till Sunday, I had spent that time in so much fear, so much anxiety. I would be going to work and I would feel like homosexual was written on my face like a scarlet letter, and anybody could pounce on me and beat me up and stuff like that. I was so afraid. And then I come to church and you're rejoicing in that fear, and it felt really horrible.
Before NSAS, I think we had a more controlled environment. The YouTube was where people saw me. I wasn't really out and about. But after NSAS, during the NSAS, a lot of viral posts came, a lot of WhatsApp BCs happened, village women and market women, church women, just women, not women who wouldn't necessarily be on Instagram or YouTube, mothers, street boys, street girls who wouldn't necessarily have access to YouTube videos because of the data they will have to spend. They saw it in their WhatsApp BC, their local gossip blogs, all of that. And after the NSAS, the reception we were getting from the villagers who were living, the village we were living in, the villagers, was different. People were now staring at us different. Thank God for friends and thank God for community, because when this happens, we get to change environment for a few days or for a few weeks. After NSAS, we hardly stayed in our house for a period of time. We kept jumping from one place to another, one hotel to another.
What's interesting is that a lot of people in my industry are homosexual, queer, or gay. However, it's not a very accepting industry. But I'm out to everyone, right? And I've worked with people who, because they've worked with me for such a long time and they know me, they still struggle. But I'm so clear, like, don't bring your struggles to me, you know? So yeah, so I don't think with my work, apart from when I work with actual people who are members of the community, other times it's people just thinking in their heads, that's a queer film writer or filmmaker or whatever, yeah. It does get uncomfortable, right? Knowing that even when you're with people who all identify as members of the community, right? Even when you're in a public space, you still have to be careful about your conversations, about your tone, just because you never know who. And I've had numerous experiences like that, where we're in space and somebody just whispers, we have to leave now. And we're like, why do we have to leave? And then someone says homophobia. We look around and we know that someone's watching. And so yeah, so there's been experiences like that in this country, and just knowing that you cannot be with the person that you love in all the ways that you want to be with them. So even if marriage is not your thing, there are many other ways you can be with a person that Nigeria does not allow you to be with that person.
Yeah. I kind of get the impression that even though you know somewhere like Nigeria isn't really safe for the LGBTQ community, I feel like there's a little bit of fearlessness in you. Like sometimes you're just like, screw it, I'm gonna dance with this woman or etc.
Oh, yeah.
Have you had moments like that where you've just rebelled?
Absolutely, there's been many times like that. I know that I want to kiss this woman, I want to dance with, and many times we just do, and we've seen people stare at us and give us a look.
There are people that I grew up with that I used to be really close to. And the more open I became on my sexuality, the crowd just thinned itself out. So now most of my friends are people who are also queer or people who are also woke. So I have people like relatives, friends from childhood and stuff like that I just can't interact with because I'm aware that they are either homophobic or they're just not entirely comfortable. I could go to the mall like with my partner or something, and it's just like people are just like staring and marking that group of like men that like those people they look off. There are places that I don't go to, especially alone, because I'm always worried that someone, because I'm very like visible on Twitter, and I won't lie, I've more than once I've like had to curse out certain people who like came at me in a very homophobic way. so like I know like there's like I feel like there are people who may like walking around like with a grudge from me or something. I don't go to certain spaces that I feel would be too crowded or would have too many people from that side of the internet there. So I'm very cautious of where I go to, and if I'm going to a place alone, I have to know where I'm going, and people have to know where I'm going as well, because it's very risky. Things could just easily just go like I said. Once people just hear that, oh, he's gay, everyone no one's going to come for your like aid or anything. I read a couple of stories once about people get ketoed, people who like they go to meet someone for like a date or for a hookup, and they discover the person who invited them is actually a homophobe, and it's what really happens is they're either extorted from, or they're beaten badly or stuff like that, or someone to take a video of you or a picture of you and will try to blackmail you. I have no less than 8, 10 friends who stuff like that has happened to. It's very common.
Honestly, before the YouTube channel, she and I, we were going through so much. Internalized homophobia, just homophobic family members and friends, and just even how to maneuver with the relationship, with how we want to present the world. Just the YouTube channel kind of gave us a form of support, knowing that we're not alone. We used to feel so alone before. I used to feel like we were the only one, we're the only couple willing to even fight, because we had lesbian friends who were dating, but they weren't dating in public. They just were dating because they knew we wouldn't judge them, so they would tell us about it, and they were friends, and we knew of their relationship. But in public, they were presenting as friends and all of that. So we didn't really think we had, before, in the past, we didn't really think we had friends who wanted a better life, who weren't going to look for a way to just cheat and hide. I wouldn't even call it cheat or hide, just a way to survive, really. Friends who wanted to experience their life and exist, not just survive it. But meeting people, going out, the YouTube channel, coming to Lagos, meeting creatives in Lagos has given us an opportunity to meet people who are not surviving, people who are full-on existing, people who are taking up space, people who are doing things. You've just met Ife, the writer. She wrote, Ife, Nigerian lesbian movie, celebrating lesbianism in Nigeria. So meeting people like that, meeting people like Matthew Blaze, just give us some kind of feeling of safety, feeling of, okay, you know what? Even if being a lesbian is illegal in Nigeria, if somebody comes to put hand in your eye, it's not just you that will fight for yourself. A lot of people will fight for you.
A couple of months ago, I tweeted something randomly and Instablog posted it. And so in some way, somehow, it found its way to my department group chat on WhatsApp. And the whole thing just escalated. I got people who were threatening me that if I ever come to school, they would do X and X things. It went on for weeks. Eventually, I got kicked out of the group. Not the people who were I got kicked out of the group. And even when I got re-added to the group, it was still the same issue all over and over again.
The reason why we had to leave our house for a few bits in Abuja was because we were getting some kind of looks that we didn't understand. Our neighbors, bike men, they would blandly refuse to give us service. You'd be hailing them down and they would walk past you. Just minor things like that. We didn't feel comfortable in our neighborhood anymore, so we just had to take a break. That's why we came to Lagos. So people who care about me, people who love me or like me, worry about me, even though I don't necessarily worry about myself, because, something will kill a man, and if this is what will kill me, no problem. But yeah, I will say the way I live, the way I present in Nigeria is not a safe one. It's not something that is a safe thing. I have anxieties. As much as I say I don't worry, I have anxieties and I'm paranoid every now and then. Nigerians call it deliverance. They know the word deliverance very well. They love that word. I will deliver you. They know a man of God, that if they take me to this man, my problems, all my lesbianism will be wiped away. So yeah.
Every day she asked me so many questions and I answered. She wanted to know what that meant, if I would have kids and all. At the end of each day, she'd tell me how much she loved me.
She beat up boys in my class and anyone who dared bother me. She protected me. And my dad used to call her Gebenwanyi.
Was it a long journey?
How much bravery did you need when you came out to your mother?
Everyone was so happy, and by everyone, I mean members of the LGBTQ community in Nigeria and everywhere else. And I remember thinking to myself, the most beautiful thing about this film, for me, right? Because it's art, it will mean many things to many people, but for me, it wasn't just that this film was out. It was the connections that I made. It was the women from everywhere in the world reaching out to me to say thank you for making this film. I think for me that was the most important thing. Hearing from those people from everywhere, just sending me messages, thank you. And that was really what mattered. Of course, there were the other comments, but I couldn't see them. Like, I just used to scroll past. Like, nope, you're not my target audience. My target audience is excited. I definitely do want to keep making these kinds of films, these kinds of stories. Representation is so important, and I know how differently my life could have gone if I had this kind of representation, right? And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create a different world for younger LGBTQ people to exist in a different world where they see themselves on TV, see themselves represented.
So I think the only way to go forward is to re-educate the public. I think it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot, but I think that's the only way. I don't think it's just about like repealing the law, because you can repeal the law and people are still violently homophobic and people are still going to die. So it's just largely about re-education. Let people see that queer people at the end of the day are just ordinary regular people. Like, there's no big fascination. There's no. I've met people who have this weird idea that queer people are all rich, and some of that is funny, but at the same time it's still harmful, because you still don't see queer people as just regular people. Like, you may think you're not a homophobe, but on some level you're perpetrating like anti-gay sentiment. So it's just we just to see that gay people are just regular people. They can be bad people, they can be good people, they can be annoying people. That's just it at the end of the day.
There are different opinions on this, from people who believe that we should do our own thing and fuck the system, to people who believe that we should try and change the system. And they're all right. You know, all these schools of thoughts are correct. I believe that even as we are trying to change the system, it shouldn't be from a place of, but we need you people to do this for us. It should be from a place of, well, we should be more assertive. You know, whenever somebody does something that is exceptional in my community, there's a sense that, oh my God, why are you doing this? Nigeria is not ready for this. But Nigeria won't be ready, won't ever be. In fact, there is no society that was ever ready for something that they considered taboo or an abomination. There is no right, there's no right, there's no wrong that was righted in society that came because society was like, okay, now we are good. You guys can come and, you women can come and vote, or you blacks can come and be yourself, or you, like, there was a pushback against the oppression. There was something the people in that marginalized group had to do out of their comfort zones that led to the recognition that they got.
A woman wrote me and said, before you, if a person calls me a lesbian, I'll feel like I'm being insulted. And I was like, me too. You know what? That was the reason why I started going by that name lesbian, because people were using it to insult me. Like, oh, that's Amara the lesbian. I'm like, oh, okay. That sounds like a good name. People were using it to insult me. So at some point, I'm like, okay, just give it to me. I'm going to bear it happily with pride.
I feel like in the same way we give ourselves the responsibility to do right by ourselves, anybody who also claims to represent us or to do something that helps our equality should also do it right. And because here's the thing, okay, we did talk about something on an episode of our show that hasn't been aired yet. We addressed the issue of the Feminist Coalition and what they did during the NSAS protest, where, without any prompting, I might add, they put out a tweet about how gay people are also included in the NSAS movement, and that generated a lot of backlash online. So much backlash that they had to delete the tweet. And I remember feeling very, very disappointed. Because, okay, first of all, we didn't ask you to release that statement. It's fine that you did, but we didn't ask you. But then if you do that, you can't not know that this is the way people would react to it. So what were you thinking when you did that and then removed it? It's like, this is our lives. This is what we live all the time in that level of discomfort. So if you are going to be an ally, what you're essentially saying is that you want to step into that discomfort with us. But you can't then do that, and then when it starts getting hot, the heat that we know ourselves, you then run out and be like, yeah, you know what, I'm not going to be there with you guys. It's just, that's not how allyship works, you get? And so you don't put out a tweet and then remove it. All that does is give the impression that the homophobic Nigerian society can bully people into retracting their support for the gay community, and that's just wrong. So I think that in the same way we hold ourselves accountable to the things we do for our community, we should also hold those who claim to represent us accountable for the same thing, to the same standards as well.
I think for me, the one thing that I always want people to know is that being gay is it's literally just one aspect of your life, and it doesn't define who you are. People, like, the reason why it seems like we have queer people hyper-focusing on their queerness or their sexuality is because the world hyper-focuses on it. At the end of the day, if the world normalized being gay people would just live their lives. We literally have gay taxi drivers, we have gay billionaires, we have gay millionaires, we have gay house helps. There's literally no distinction. There's no difference. There's no notable difference. It's literally just a human being who's attracted to their own gender, and it's not that deep. Really, it's not that deep. It's not that serious. So I just wish the world would just realize that and just move on so can focus on like bigger issues, to be entirely honest.
I think that's what I love most about being out there with, my sexuality, with my life, with everything, with my message, because I feel like at the end of the day, I'm trying to get queer women, queer babies, young lesbians to just accept themselves and just love themselves. That's all. That's everything behind the whole Amara lesbian channel, the vlog. That's the message really. Like, okay, you don't have to be ashamed of yourself, because I carried shame. My girlfriend carried shame for so long. A lot of us carried shame for so long. So right now, I think we are trying to attack the shame. We're trying to make sure that if the younger generation is going to have the chance, that they know that, shame is not supposed to be there. They're not supposed to be ashamed. They're not supposed to be ashamed. This is their life and they're supposed to live it.